Welcome back, everybody. Another exciting adventure, another wonderful weekend. Yes, indeed. Welcome back to another Stig shift. It's been quite a beginning of the year, isn't it? Lots of news within aviation. But without further ado, let's get on with it. Our first office of the day, a beautiful 777-300 rolling in. It's always a pleasure watching this beauty roll in. Spent majority of the weekend working the international terminal. Worked on pretty much most of the fleet types. Even some domestic flights happen to go to international terminal. They're forced to use international gates even for some domestic flights. It's a bit of a hassle to the passenger due to Terminal 4 being under construction, but I know it's going to be a gorgeous terminal at the end. Alrighty. Well, this one ain't going anywhere. Actually, this one's staying right here. So, change of schedule once again. I told you it's unpredictable. We were supposed to dispatch this onto an ETOPS flight, but it got swapped around. Now it gets to stay here for a little bit and goes out to an ETOPS flight later on that day. All we have to do is just make sure it's oiled. Before we go, we gotta make sure the fidget spinner working. This is a good bird. Next office. We're bouncing around. We're internationally. As usual, the aircraft rolls in. We do our walk around, make sure the oils are topped off, making sure all the brakes and tires are good. Just general condition of the aircraft. And if you guys were wondering what type of oil aircraft engines use, or I should say what our fleets use, is the turbo oil 2197. And yes, it is synthetic oil. But different carriers use different types of oil. But for us, all of our fleet types, all of our engines use the same oil, except for the APU. APU has different style of oil. I don't know exactly why, but I'm gonna assume it's because it's manufacturer recommendations. But this bird was good. Brakes and tires were nice and healthy. Okay, looking good, looking good. I can still never get over this configuration. It looks so weird, but it's legal. I may have mentioned this before, but yes, this is always weird to me. This is the L2 door on a 321, and the way the seat configuration falls, it's just weird because you think it's blocking it, right? But it's not. There's plenty of space for you to get out in case of an emergency, but it's still awkward to look at. I suppose this is my OCD talking. Oh my god. I mean, it's funny. There's a quick little walkthrough, make sure everything's A-okay. Let me talk about something. The walk around or the walkthroughs. Everybody has a very different style of doing this. Now there's a recommended way to do this, but when you do this long enough, you start to create your own style of the walk around. You still look at everything, but in your own fashion. People want to look at the fuselage first and then go to the tires and then the engines. Some will take the engines first. Some will go for the brakes and tires first. For example, when I'm doing interior, I will walk through the cabin, I'm looking up. I inspect the upper portion of the interior first. I get to the back of the airplane, I turn around, and then my focus goes down. Then I look at the seats as I go back to the fuselage or the cabin. But I'm still looking at everything. It's just that's the way my mind compartmentalizes this. Again, a different style. And then we got another airplane coming up here, another 777 in a bit. Looking good. You know, it's funny when you walk. When these airplanes are empty, when you're walking towards the back, you can actually feel the tail bouncing a little bit up and down. So, like right now, I know you can't feel it through the phone, but, but yeah, if you stand back here and you jump up and down, the whole airplane kind of moves around a bit. It's kind of funny. This is my poor attempt at trying to explain CG, center of gravity, which is very important, by the way. And no, the airplane is not going to tip backwards. You're going to have at least 20 people back there jumping up and down for that to happen. But another interesting thing right here, you can actually see the cargo door. That's what I was showing right here. If you're sitting at row 30, if you see that thing right there, that's actually the cargo door opened up. Oh man, like the one problem with the Airbus seats, the cloth always pops off because of the Velcro. Wish they had make it buttons. That would have made it a lot easier. Or snaps. Everybody thinks the seats are always worn out. They're not, guys. Most are covered with sheepskin or woolskin or cloth. Basically breathable material. Oh man, the poor old Max. This thing just cannot catch a break lately, can it? But don't worry, this is a Dash 8. This is not a Dash 9. We don't have any Dash 9s. But I'll get back to this topic a little later. I'm going to show you guys what I saw later on in the day. To my surprise, the next 777 was this one. This is a Dash 200, and obviously it's got inscription on it. This one's dedicated to Al Blackman. I believe I talked about this in the previous video. It's a dedication to an aircraft maintenance technician. The longest service to aircraft maintenance in history. Hey, look what came in. How awesome is that? Love it. A quick little walk around. Beautiful. My partner over there is going to oil it. I'll do the walk around. This came in from Heathrow. I was going to go out to Dallas. Okay, time for some technical mumbo jumbo. This is going to get real boring real fast. Every marking on an aircraft has a purpose. What you are looking at there are static ports. These little things measure the static air pressure, also known as barometric pressure. These things collect data. The data that is inputted through this gets sent to the computers. They work in tandem with the pitot system. That's why it's called the pitot-static system. The data it's collecting is for the altimeter and vertical speed indication. So this is the important part. Usually they are located where it is a, how can I put this? An aerodynamically neutral position. Now, what does that mean? No obstruction. That's what that means. Which brings me to the markings. You see the little black boxes or the little black angles that are around that? Those are called RVSM critical areas. RVSM is reduced vertical separation minimums or minimas. I told you this is going to get convoluted. Okay, bear with me here. In order to aircraft to fly in the same airspace in between each other, you need proper readings from these instruments. When two aircraft are flying in the same direction, in the same airspace, they have to have at least minimum of 2,000 feet separation. This is FAA and ICAO standards. The whole point of this is not to have aircraft running into each other in the sky. There's also TCAS involved, traffic collision avoidance systems. When aircraft are flying opposite directions, so one towards each other, the minimum space needs to be 1,000 feet at least. So 1,000 feet separation. Y'all still here yet? Okay, if you are, keep listening. Here's a pretty cool sight, actually. This is pretty rare to see. This is me inside an airplane watching two other airplanes whiz by the opposite direction. That's right there is 2,000 feet separation. An airplane is 1,000 feet in between them. One is 1,000 feet up, the other one is 1,000 feet down, but those two are 2,000 feet apart. Does it make sense? Okay. Now, back to what I was trying to tell you. The markings, the RVSM markings. Those are called RVSM critical areas. Those areas have to be clean and smooth, no obstruction at all. And that is what I'm looking for when I do my walk around. Well, one of the things I'm looking for is any kind of obstruction, dent, or damage that instrument will not read correctly. Wow, that took too long. Sorry. This is a Rolls-Royce Trent 800. Those blades are titanium. Notice the little markings? The blue triangle and the blue square? That actually means something as well. This will be my little quiz to you. Try to figure out what that is. Put it down in the comments. Don't worry, I'll respond to you. I respond to everybody. This aircraft was good. We got all done. I had a bit of a downtime. Found out we had a surprise visitor at the airport. Check this out. We had a little bit of downtime. I got a couple more hours until that next airplane comes up, but look what showed up. Nope, not the Queen. Something more special. the Antonov. Look at this. How awesome is this? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Antonov 124-100. It was here at LAX. It was a pleasure to see this thing. Last time I saw it all opened up. This is beautiful. I wonder what it's doing here. That wingtip is low enough for me to jump up and probably touch. Well, only if I was a couple of feet taller. But it is pretty darn low to the ground. That is so cool. It's the only way I can get it fit into the shot. I have to do a wide angle. Beautiful airplane. Man, you know this thing has seen some days. It looks pretty rough, but I'm sure the thing is tough as nails. Look at these things. I always forget the model of the engine. I got it written down somewhere. I just can't remember it exactly. Lotarov D18T engines. That's the model number. Like a centipede. It looks like a blend of Rolls-Royce and CF6 because it's got the pointy nose and it's got the mid-span shrouds. That's hilarious. It sits up there way up tall. I don't know much about this aircraft at all, so if you guys are knowledgeable about this, feel free. Throw down some knowledge. Look at that. Can't even tell where the brake wear indicator pin is on this thing. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's that little red tab right there. I think it is. Might be. Incredible. That's probably the APU exhaust. Look at that. That's pretty cool. You can see it right there. It's turbine blades. She sits low to the ground. That is low. Assuming, well, that looks different. Maybe this is something else. Maybe it's not the APU. It's got different blades. Don't know. I'm guessing. I don't know anything about this airplane besides what I read on Google. There you go. That's a beautiful shot. There's a nice comparison to the Queen right there. And we got our old DC-3 sitting back there all on its lonesome. How cool is this? Got little escape hatches up there. Assuming these are landing lights. Yeah, it's even got a little NACA scoop right there. I don't know what that's for. my God. Now that's what I call a tow bar. That's the craziest tow bar I've ever seen in my life. I found out later on that this is one of the very few aircraft that actually flies with its own tow bar. That tow bar will go with that airplane because it is so unique. So it's quite interesting. I do apologize. Once again, I'll repeat myself. I don't know much about this aircraft. All I know is what I read. Please feel free to chime in, throw it down in the comments. If you have more knowledge on this one, I would love to learn. I'm just happy that I got the opportunity to see it once again. Last time I saw it, they were transporting a satellite, I think, and I got to see a little bit of the internals. It was pretty cool. But overall, for me, I admire all sorts of aviation, all sorts of aircraft. Sadly, I never got to see the bigger sister of this one. They got like a 10 or 20 ton crane inside of this thing. And the floor is titanium, if I'm not mistaken. Look at that. Can't even see the flight deck. What a nice treat. It's such a marvel of engineering. I keep saying it to myself. I just have to admire it. Take a step back, breathe it in, enjoy it. Not often you get to see this. I'm happy I can share this with you. But downtime is over. I gotta get back to work. Let's go. And we're back. I actually had a bunch of other airplanes working earlier, but this is the last one. That was been a pretty easy day. Nothing too exciting, but this is the last one. Dispatch this and head out home. But tomorrow's another beautiful day, so I'll see you guys early in the morning. Hope you guys had fun. It was pretty cool to see the Antonov, right? Ended with a little bit of GE90 love. Later. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another glorious day. Let's go. Starting out with the wide bodies. Good old plastic princess. Do a quick little walk around, and this one's gonna get ready to go back out international again. Yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful sunrise. Come on, let's go have some fun. Fun little fact for you, aircraft can be towed not only from the nose, but as well as from the main wheels. You see that little eyelet right there? Yep, you can hook up right there and you can tow the aircraft also from the main gears. This is to assist the aircraft, let's say if it was stuck or something like that. But overall, pretty neat perspective looking underneath the gear of a 787, isn't it? This particular aircraft came in from Haneda, and it's going to go back out to Haneda, so we're basically performing an ETOPS check. Okay, back to some technical information. Okay, the 787 is a very unique aircraft where it is a bleedless system. Inlet ducts that you're seeing right there, those two ports, and there's another two ports on the other side, This is for the air conditioning system. The 787 has 4 cabin air compressors, and they are electric. You no longer need APU bleed air to provide air conditioning to this aircraft. You just need electrical power. That being said, the aircraft itself is a massive power hog. It requires a lot to keep it running. Also an inspection of the cargo pits, and here's a nice little look at the cargo latches that hold this thing shut. Interesting system when it comes down to the cargo door system of the 787. It actually works on hydraulics, and it has its own independent reservoir, separate from the rest of the aircraft. Okay, outside is basically done. Let's go through the parameters. There she is, lovely plastic princess. Let's go see what we can get it to. We're almost done here. Look at that view. Can't beat that view. Oh, and here's the cabin air compressor interface. If you guys were wondering what it looks like, right there. Pretty cool, huh? With all the cabin temperatures, obviously, which could be regulated through right there. Here's something interesting to watch. So, the crew oxygen. Right now, it's at exact limit right now. It's dispatchable. It's legal. But I guarantee you, that's not the true value. It's going to keep going up. So, it's still cold outside. But as soon as the sun really rises and starts hitting that fuselage and warming it up, this is going to go up higher. Because it's a gas. So, what happens when you get higher temperature with gas, pressure rises. So yeah, it's always fun to watch the oxygen fluctuate. But if it was below 1350, I would change the bottle. But I don't have to, because it's within limits. You guys know how Airbus is so famous for having, a tray table. Obviously you can't have one up here, but the 787 does have something close or similar. It's right here. Well, it's not really a tray table. It's actually for keyboard storage. There also is there's a little jack you can hook it up. I don't think they use it as that. I guarantee you pilots on this thing from the Stains here are using it as a tray table. It works, it works. Ain't nothing in here anyway. Funny. There you go. That's the oxygen mask that's behind there. And just little storage compartments, little nooks for stuff. Also, it's interesting to me how Boeing hung on to its tradition of keeping the Grimes incandescent floodlight, but obviously it went all fancy now. It's all LED. And I don't think it has a red function anymore. The other one on the 777 and the 737 has a little feature where you can turn it and it goes red. I don't think this one does it anymore. Handy. Unless I'm mistaken. I don't know how to turn it red. No, nothing red here. But anyway, yeah, they held on to the tradition. Got done with the 787, and now I'm on standby, and I was at the bottom of the jet bridge just waiting, just in case they have a last minute gate call. We call this gate manning. But next door we had a A380 roll in. I had to take the opportunity. It's beautiful. There you go. A flying building. I'll be quiet. I'll let you enjoy the roll in. There is no greater feeling in the world for me than pride of my work, the fruits of my labor. And right there, that is the fruit of my labor. I made that fly. Oh, we got a little downtime. Let's go check out cargo side. And we got to go fuel the vehicle too. It's almost out of gas. Cargo never disappoints. No, it does not. Although this is the only cool car out here. There's nothing else. It's a beautiful Ferrari. Man. That is just... love it. Thing looks fast even standing still. You know, I have seen a lot of exotic cars in my lifetime. You know, I am the Stig, obviously. No, I'm just joking. But no, I'm serious. I still cannot figure out for the life of me how they transport these cars without covering them up. But, you know, that's them. Let them do whatever. I get to enjoy. So, and you get to enjoy. And this is a beautiful Ferrari 488, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, with all the bells and whistles and options, I think this thing is worth basically $500,000. Correct me if I'm wrong. I wonder how much something like this costs. What a pretty car. But yeah, unfortunately, that's the only one over here. It's all right. Still something. Well, while we're fueling, look what I noticed. Right across the way. Well, this is the brand new United hangar. And look what they're working on. Yep. There it is. Max-9 grounded. And there's your plug door. The maintenance guys, I'm sure, are checking it out, making sure nothing's loose. Crazy, right? This is where I go back to saying aviation has had a very rough beginning of this year. First one being that A350 landing on that Dash 8 in Japan. I can't believe that occurred. Almost reminds me of the incident that happened here at LAX. Flight 1493, I believe. The US Airways that landed on that Metroliner. And then right behind that, this 737 MAX incident on the 737-9 MAXes. And, you know, obviously with Alaska, but now all of them are grounded. This is the United one I saw that was parked by their hangar, and their maintenance personnel are basically doing an inspection. You know, I could sit here and regurgitate the news to you and tell you what already is out there, and everybody and their mother has already talked about this. Every social media influencer and everybody else, they've already talked this thing to death. Let NTSB do their job. Let NTSB get the reports out. I'm not going to be unprofessional. I'm going to allow the professionals do their job and get the true information out there. That's it. So I got not much to say about this one. All I get to say is my vehicle is full of fuel, and now I got to go back to the line, back to work. Let's go. Thanks, office. Time for a walk around. This one's going out to Heathrow. So I was walking around looking at the wing and I noticed something. Check this out. Right here on the outboard flap, right here. You see it? Notice something? The little aerodynamic cap is missing. This is a perfect example of CDL, configuration deviation list. Yep, this is perfectly normal. Well, not normal, but it's on deferral. They found the piece damaged or missing, so they probably set on deferral. Happens all the time, guys. It's legal. So you don't believe me? It's right here, FAA.gov. Perfectly legal. Feel free to look it up. And by the way, if anybody's questioning what I'm doing and how I'm showing these things, this is all available online. This is commercial aviation. I'm not working on an F-35, guys. You can find all this information only if you look for it. Now I'll show you the other side of what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, as soon as they get the part, they'll install it back on. But according to CDL, it's good to go. There you go. That's what it's supposed to look like. Right there. See, it's just a little aerodynamic cover, that's all. Nothing with safety of flight. Remember, we're not going to defer anything that's safety of flight issue. So with that CDL put on, the only thing that's going to affect this aircraft is just a very slight fuel penalty. Quick inspection of the cargo. This is the aft cargo and this is the bulk cargo. And yeah, usually, obviously bulk cargo, but also your pets can fly in here too. See? Okay to load live animals because there's heating. See these vent tubes? They're actually heaters. There's also another vent right here. This cargo area is heated. And cargos are also pressurized, if you guys didn't know. But yeah, this is most likely where your animal will fly. Unless you got special permission, then they'll fly with you inside the cabin. All right, finish up this inspection, go look at the forward cargo, and then go upstairs. Easy. Everything looking good. Well, it looks like we've got to service some hydraulics. The Bowser was a little low, so let's service it up and go back to the 777. Look how pretty it looks when it's brand new. A moment of reflection on SkyDraw. This is to all my aircraft maintenance technicians and maintainers all across the world, active and retired. You know exactly what this is, and you know exactly what it can do. Boys and girls, keep this off of your skin and out of your eyes because it burns like heck. For the majority of us that have been through the industry or are in the industry, we are pretty much immune to this. Don't get me wrong, if you get this in your eye, it's still gonna burn like heck, but getting on your skin, like for me, I am so immune to this, it doesn't even bother me anymore. Purple sticky punch. We serviced up the 777 hydraulics, it's good to go. Keep this out of your eye, kids. It's a whole lot of pain. Purple sticky punch. Here you go, gentlemen. ETOP is completed. You're good to go.
Thank you, kind sir.
Thank you. You guys have a lovely flight. You want to double check that? Make sure you're happy with it?
Oh, you got it. I know you guys do such good work that I never have to worry.
These are the moments I live for. I love this. You know, encountering somebody that loves their job as much as I do is a thrill. You know, this is a captain that appreciates exactly what maintenance does. Not only that, he loves his job. And I know this captain very well. He's an amazing human being and a very happy person. And every single time I meet him, it's handshakes, hugs, and appreciation. Man, oh man, it's a pleasure to service and make aircraft airworthy for people like this. It's just puts a big smile on my face and makes me proud of what I do. There she goes. Another one done. Wait, Captain. Maybe you don't see me. He was a super nice guy. The day ends and another one begins, and on to the next wide bodies. I told you guys I've been stuck on international this whole weekend, which is fine, it's fun. You know the best part of this job is I'm never bored. Never. I know that sounds crazy to say. Everybody gets bored of their job, right, Stig? No, I don't. Anytime I'm bored, all I gotta do is take a step outside my office. Go look around. Go look at the airplanes. Simply go outside and you're not bored anymore. Go pick up a manual. Go read something. There's always something to learn. This is a job where there's always something to do. And I love it. Absolutely incredible. Woo! Good morning, everybody. It's a little cold this morning. Oh my goodness. Need to warm up there for a second. Oh man, oh man. Hope everybody's doing good. Come on, let's go have one more adventure. A long day ahead of us. Time for fun. And here we go. Let's see what we got. Let's see if she's been behaving. Let's see. Status. Oh, love it. That's exactly what I want to see. Looking good. We have one small write-up. It is just a light bulb change. No biggie. This one just came from Sydney. Okay, let's see. This is the crew rest area on the 777-300. And it said crew bunk 7. That's going to be 6, 5. The area light is not working. Let's see. Yeah, it's not. There's the area light. It's supposed to look like that. Yeah, probably a bad bulb. Come on out. There you go. Easy. Just a little simple light bulb change. Yeah, it burnt out. No big deal. I'll get a new one. Okay. Got a new bulb. Let's see if this is the issue. There you go. Let there be light. And then there was light. Anyway, just put this back on. Easy. Sometimes it's just as easy as a light bulb. Next office. It's gonna be a fun day. I want another one of these. Hello? Anybody there? If you're there, I'm not bothering you. Oh man. Come on. Come alive. Time to go to work. There you go. Get this started up, get her warmed up, and then make sure everything's good. And then we got a 787 over there we got to take care of. I'm gonna run through all these airplanes today. Fun. Ain't that a cool view? Okay, time for more knowledge. Okay, do you see that little circle right there on the vertical stabilizer? That is actually a static port, but it's not for what you think it is. It's not like the rest. This is part of the rudder control system. It's called the gust suppression pressure transducer. There's two on each side. The primary function of these things is to measure the air pressure on the sides of the vertical stabilizer, also to change air pressure data to the digital data, and as well as to send the information to the flight control electronics. Basically giving the information of how much wind is moving across the rudder to improve the rudder movement, especially when the aircraft is in high gust conditions. So, very helpful unit. 777 has this too. Okay, man, we teamed up on this one. Like 3 guys working it. Pretty good. The plastic princess is ready to fly out again. One happy airplane. Not even a single inbound write-up. That's amazing. I love it. All right, what's next? Probably one of those out there. Next. Oh, beautiful Neo. This one just came up from the hangar. Just making sure everything's okay. Do a quick little walk around, check upstairs. But yeah, everything should be just fine. Tip top with this one. Next office. All right, back in the Airbus. This one just came in. Everything looking good. That's exactly what I want to see. Normal. Engine oil's good. Hydraulics good. Very nice. You know, let's something cool right here. The ADSB. You know, this is actually live tracking of the aircraft here. ADSB. I think I've talked about this before as well. Automatic Dependent Surveillance Broadcast. It's basically a surveillance technology that uses aircraft positioning, avionics, and ground infrastructure to create a surveillance interface between an aircraft and air traffic control. It acts almost exactly like TCAS. It has a little bit more functions in there, but here's it working in real life. It's kind of cool because you can track the other aircraft around you and see what it's doing. I'll show you. Go down to traffic. You can actually pick the airplane that you want to see, and you can see it live right here. Watch this. Let's say we wanted to see Delta 991 or DAL 991, which is right here. Look, not only is it tracking it, but you can change the distance with nautical miles, but we want to see that one right there. Check it out. Tells you the speed. Tells you all this vertical speed information. Pretty cool. Relative altitude, as you can see, he's climbing. I don't exactly know the very specifics of how to work the system. This is mostly pilot stuff, but I just know the basics of it. But it's pretty fun. There you go. Watching him live as he climbs out. Fun. ADSB system. But the next flight crew's gonna take this, so we gotta take it off alignment anyway, because they're gonna unalign it and they're gonna realign it. But as you can see, it works off of batteries. There goes ADSB and fail because these get turned off. But we're gonna realign them for the next flight. Coming slowly to the end of the day. A few of the last aircraft rolling in, and some of these are Terminators. They're going to stay overnight, and some of them are turns. I know it wasn't a very eventful weekend, but sometimes that's the way it is. And majority of the time, that's the way we want it to be. Because if nothing happens, that means business as usual. That means aircraft are functioning as they should. If you see me showing all sorts of crazy stuff, that means it's bad. So most of the time, if it's mellow, it's chill, then it's good. That means everything is going as usual. As airplanes are being dispatched properly, everything is safe. So I do apologize if this Stig shift is a bit boring, but you know, sometimes an easy day is an easy day. What can I say? But this was my last aircraft of the night, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everybody being here. Thank you for being so supportive, and the kind words and the beautiful words that you guys put out there. It really, truly does mean a lot to me. I read every single one, and I respond to every single person over here. I hope I can keep doing this for quite some time and provide you with this type of content. Once again, thank you for watching, and have a great day. I will see you guys on the next one.